Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Link to the Past randomizer daily race. My name is Sorcerer Finch. I'm joined here in the booth with Shindig Pig. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready to watch a race. How are you doing?
I am doing a-okay. We are a couple minutes into the seed, where we do have a couple folks in Eastern Palace. We've started exploring the mountain as it looks like Kakariko Village had a good number of items, with Arshap having a bow and hookshot, um, flute, master sword, cape hammer. That hammer is going to be pretty important, especially going forward.
Yeah, that's a big item. Looks like Hookshot was found somewhere by two runners, but not the other two yet.
And unfortunately, and while we continue working through the technical difficulties, please be sure to give our racers a follow. They agreed to be restreamed, and they're being very generous about that. And it looks like Days Cloud is going through. Eastern is about to face the Armos Knights. Okay, and those flippers were in. It looks like the flippers were just south in just south of Link's house. So at least that's a pretty quick check to get those slippers.
And I believe it was the Kakariko well was loaded. I think it had the hammer, the flute, and the sword. If I recall correctly.
Ooh, that's a good find then. But having that early flute does give a lot of movement to our runners as well. So that will be very nice for the rest of the seed. All right, and Lackey is going up to Zora. Looks like to get something off of the Zora ledge. There must have been something nice there. All right. Oh, and that's what it was. It was a red bottle up on Zora's ledge. So that will be access for that will be Sick Kid in Logic back in the village, and Half Magic in the back of the tavern. That'll be pretty nice. There seems to be a lot of nice safety early on with having the cape and having Half Magic. Some of those kind of nice quality of life items.
And we just found a tempered sword in Hype Cave, it looks like. So another sword found there pretty early on.
That makes it a pretty decent hype cave. It didn't seem to have progression. That's still a pretty nice, still a nice find. Okay, and there was that bloomerang. Laggy showing us that the bloomerang was with Uncle. All right, and that cape, okay, was in Kakariko, right? Was in Kakariko along with that bug net. Um, looks like our runners will be able to catch fairies kind of as they go throughout the world. With some powder, they'll be able to make their own fairies. That'll be pretty nice. Darkwing on its way up to Pod are sharp in Paradox Cave. That's a good number of items kind of there. And I'm noticing for Darkwing, while that it is not yet technically in Logic without that lamp, but otherwise you can navigate through dark rooms. That can be a nice out of Logic check because there are a good number of items in Pod.
Yeah, and the Pod Dark Room is definitely one you'll see more often without the lamp than other ones. It 3 checks in it, and it's definitely learnable.
Yeah. Laggy going to Zelda's cell, using that hammer, pretty handy. Does have to be careful, and unfortunately does take a fall to that mini boss, to that guard right there. Was prepping for a death warp, and unfortunately got hit a little bit too much. So we'll be skipping Zelda's cell. There could still be the map in there, so that would feel a little bit better.
Yeah, you gotta be thinking Laggy is hoping he does not open the map coming up in these checks.
And R Sharp giving us our first look at Tower Hera. And item number 1 is just going to be $20. So that'll be a nice skip. And Arshap getting that Herapot, that'll be pretty handy. As Laggy and Daze Cloud go through their respective dark rooms, Laggy in the back of Escape. And the second item in Hera is just 10 arrows, so Hera does not have progression here. But Arshap, with how they fell, they're able to immediately get back to the beginning of Tower Hera. So without that mirror, that was a nice quick way to get back without having to worry about death warping. That was some nice strategy. That was a nice tactic.
Yeah, that was a good play for sure. I'm getting a peek at Spiral Cave coming up here soon from there. Looks like Daze Cloud is going to go do Paradox Cave.
And unfortunately, with that map in the back of Escape, there will be one item. There is going to be one item in Zelda's cell. All right, and Darkwing is about to do the back of Pod. Spiral Cave just having 3 bombs, so it ended up being a nice bomb refill. With those being Arshap's only bombs at this point, but that'll be it for right now. And Paradox Cave just having hearts and money so far. A couple arrows and the shield. So we are still looking for a fire source. We're still looking for a fire source. We won't need it for Desert Palace, probably. But we'll see.
And we're seeing Bombos too already with flippers, so that could imply they have to go to Ice Palace without a fire source, but, well, it's still early enough to where they could find it before having to do that at least.
That's a good point. All right, and Darkwing is... All right, and Agina having that hook shot. That's going to be that's a good find, and you don't often. It doesn't feel like you often see Agina having an item like that, but that right there is progress. That is some progression right there.
Getting a peek at the map on the top left, I saw, well, we already got the mappings here. It looks like a pennant in Skullwoods, pennant in Tower and Desert Palace, and then the rest are crystals. Red crystal in Swamp Palace and Eastern Palace.
All right, and Darkwing using a couple bombs to take a death warp. But it looks like we'll be able to complete Pod as long as they're okay with doing it in the dark. Arshap giving us our first looking to Skullwoods. Skullwoods with its 2 items. Oh, and there's that mirror, and that is a great first item to find here.
Definitely, that makes everything nicer to do. Dungeons, overworld checks, everything. So we have to hope other runners get out to Skullwoods pretty quick.
Okay, and there was that first item in Hype Cave. So not only was there the tempered sword for it looks like for our runners, but there's also a bottle of a red potion to restore everyone's health. So that'll be pretty nice. And the Gibdo is giving Arshap a little bit of consternation. Looks to be driving them away just fine now, though. It's going to check that chest back there. And Laggy going into Hera, we do know that Hera will not have progression.
Looks like we're going to get a pyramid check from Days Cloud. That was fast enough. I missed what it was, but I guess it wasn't very important because he just left it sitting there.
All right, and Laggy going through Spike Cave with that. Fortunately, with half magic and having a cape, gonna be cutting it a little close for comfort. But that is where the Titans mitts are. That is a heck of a location for those Titans mitts, but a good find. I can't imagine with all of our runners currently being off the mountain. It's probably going to be a little bit of time before they decide to double dip the mountain.
Yeah, I think those Titans mints may be one of the bigger items in this seat. That's going to get a lot of people that don't go check Spike Cave until it's the last thing they can do.
And while some items aren't necessarily required for every seed, the Titans mitts are required for every single seed, I believe. Well, they are actually, yes, they are to get to Dark Death Mountain. All right, and Darkwing taking down King Helmasaur, getting their first crystal. Arshap, Days Cloud, and Laggy having one crystal as well, having taken down the Armus Knights in Eastern Palace. And Days Cloud looks like they'll be going into Pod as well. All right, and at this point, Arshap, it looks like might be with that mirror can complete Swamp, which that will actually be a good crystal dungeon, and it's another treasure trove of items as well. Especially all of them are in logic at this point, and especially with that Cane of Samaria. We'll be able to execute the Diver Down glitch as well to be able to bypass some of the dungeon at least.
In addition to the 6 you get there, you're also getting 2 more because that would be your second red crystal for him too. So kind of a bonus.
That's a good point. Yeah, this is I do like this play from Arshap. Darkwing is now also yeah. All right. Darkwing is now after Pod is now going into Eastern to take down the Armus Knights.
Pretty quick crystals in this one. Under 30 minutes, everybody's already got a crystal. They're already working on other ones pretty fast.
And yeah, RShap is kind of giving us some new information here. Laggy and Dazed Cloud, though. Actually, Dazed is about to um, get those last couple items. And RShap preparing for that diver down. Nicely using the Canis Maria block to get that fire snake kind of to drive it away, and is able to pull down diver down to walk on water very nicely. All right, and trading looks like RShap doing left side swamp. It does just get a big key, which will open up the big key chest, and at least it's already going to be on the way. But otherwise, left side swamp. We'll see what that last chest has.
Yeah, it might be interesting. Either way, really, if this has something or nothing, it would either be to the benefit or the detriment of whoever decides to skip the left side of swamp here. And I don't think it was anything there.
Nope, just a piece of heart. So left side of swamp is going to be able to be skipped if our runners choose to do so.
Looked like the ice rod in Swamp Palace there, and then a progression of somehow. Or was it a 50 maybe? Yeah, it was a 50 because it's just default.
There was a fire rod though in Swamp. That is a wonderful find right there.
Oh, did I see my colors wrong?
I think yeah. It looks like it was just the. It looks like just the fire rod. It looks like RShap is the first to find that fire rod, and there was Bombos medallion on the sick kid. Right, and we have a couple boss fights going on with RShap doing Arcus, Dazed Cloud doing King Helmasaur.
Pulling out the safety cape, good move.
Especially with 2.5 hearts, but King Helmasaur does go down. Very well done. And down goes Argus as well from RShap. Very well done. And those are crystals number. Those are both of their crystals number 2. As Ike also starts their dip into pod as well.
And it looks like Darkwing may be finding his mirror here pretty shortly as he's gone into Skullwoods.
In a don't blink you'll miss it. All right, and Darkwing does pick up that mirror in Skullwoods as well. And Arshap is going to go turn in that is going to open up the Pyramid Fairy. That's going to be a good call right there. All right, and we'll see what Arshap has on that Pyramid Fairy. And welcome in everyone from the Speed Gaming channel. We are about 37 minutes into this Link to the Past daily race. And what are those? We got those boots on the Pyramid Fairy, so that will be that could be an important item depending on Ganon's tower, or if we for some reason need to dip into Desert Palace and get a couple items from there.
He's got to be feeling good about doing his 2 red crystals first to go get those boots now too. That probably made his decision there feel a lot better to him.
And Dazed going through Thieves Town, getting the first couple items from the front. Yep, that goose, the goose with the speed boost. All right, and we have 2 of our runners now in Thieves Town with Darkwing and Daze Cloud. Daze Cloud making their way to the back, and Arshap going into Pod.
Looks like a mushroom in Meyer Shed, so we'll see if that comes into play later or not. Oh, we'll see if it comes into play right now.
So a question, are we a Quake from no mode? At this point, we know where the gloves are. We have Bombos. And I do think that we are just Quake Medallion away from no mode, which means we know as an audience where all of the required items are in order to finish the seed. Our runners may know some of where those items are.
Yeah, this is an interesting spread of a race here. Everybody kind of got a piece of something, but nobody got everything.
And it does look like that. And it does look like that the hammer was required to get. Now I haven't been counting my dungeon items, but it looks like there might be an item in the big chest in Thieves Town as well. I wasn't counting my dungeon items, so it's just a compass in there, which probably means at this point, because Dazed did check back there, there is probably going to be an item on blind. And knowing that we do not need Quake, we are in no mode.
Good blind kill there by a Day's Cloud. And a heart piece as a reward for it.
Very well done.
I don't know how I have not seen the goose sprite before, but I gotta say that's a good goose sprite.
It really is. And that is one of the nice things about Randomizer as well. Just the creativity of the different sprites. I mean, we have Zelda herself. We have the Red Power Ranger. We have Abigail, and we have the Untitled Goose Game Goose. So it really is wonderful, the creativity in the community.
And we're about to see the dig mini game. I don't believe we've seen it yet.
All right, and Bombos was on the sick kid, and that is a good point. Our chap finding the lamp on Hylia Island, so dark rooms won't be a problem any longer. Especially the pod dark rooms especially especially the turtle room.
And I think he pretty much beelined for that lamp too, so he must have seen it on that island beforehand. And we have Days Cloud entering Swamp Palace.
And it really has been interesting, the routing that our that we're basically doing a bunch of different routing. Darkwing is right on the heels of Days Cloud, but Laggy now going through Thieves Town.
I think Laggy having done a Spike Cave here is going to be huge. None of the other 3 runners have Titan's Mitt yet, and that just, it opens so much.
That is a good point. Yeah, those Titan's Mitts. That's not an easy find, especially all the way up in Spike Cave at this point. And I believe all of our runners have made at least one climb up Death Mountain as well. All right, and the fire rod. The fire rod? Our runners, Darkwing and Days Cloud, will be finding the fire rod momentarily in Diver Down chest, and then the boots are in the pyramid, chest. And this is one of the 5/6 crystals as well. So this will be so. Doing Swamp will lead to both the fire rod and the boots.
And I mean, that's assuming they go and do Pyramid Fairy. Darkwing would have to do Eastern Palace first, which changes the routing a little bit, but it's still not something that you would probably ever last location at least.
Yeah, the nice thing is, though, at least, and I'm trying to remember what the other 5/6 crystal was.
That was Eastern Palace.
Oh, okay. Then then Days Cloud will probably go and do that pyramid check then. Not quite so sure about Darkwing.
Yeah, definitely will change the routing of where he goes to the pyramid for his boots, but we can hope that it's fairly soon because they're nice.
Yeah. And down goes Blind. On Laggy's side, very, very well done. And down goes Argus for Days Cloud's side. Very well done. All right, and indeed, it looks like Days will be going to do the Pyramid Fairy. Darkwing working on taking down Argus. Laggy with the hammer pegs will be seeing a golden sword. There's that butter sword, which will be the best sword that we'll find in this game. So it's definitely another nice quality of life item right there. There's a significant difference between the Master Sword and the Tempered Sword, but the Tempered Sword and the Golden Sword is still a very nice difference.
Yeah, and he's still got 4 crystals to go get. That's going to help on a lot of the bosses. Just speed wise, not even they need it. It's just it makes everything go faster.
Yep. And Day's picking up those boots. All right, and Arshap in the blind fight. The beach? I'm not sure I can make it. Blind always giving a good pun in Randomizer. I suppose good is subjective.
He tries at least. That's something.
Yeah. And down goes blind. Very well done. Laggy does have the benefit with those Titan's mitts of being able to do Smith Chain, which it's a good couple of items, and it's a nice way to take a tour of the world. But without the mirror from Skull Woods, we'll have to take a little bit longer of a route to get there.
So, I mean, I'm wondering when are these 3 runners going to end up going to Spike Cave, and I'm wondering when Laggy's going to end up going to Skullwoods, because all 4 runners have kind of a lot of options in front of them without having to do those.
That's a good point. And then with Arshap having that lamp from Lake Hylia Island, when will our runners actually, I guess, will our runners get that lamp? The dark rooms in Turtle Rock aren't as bad as Misery Mire. Misery Mire might be more of a case to go just grab that lamp.
Yeah, I don't. You'd have to be very well versed to ignore the lamp when you know it's there in dark rooms. I can't imagine anybody would know it's there and not go get it for that kind of stuff when you've got to go in mire.
And Darkwing is working on the Armless Knights to get that other 5/6 crystal.
We do see Days Cloud back up on the mountain, so it is possible now he'll do his Spike Cave check and get his mitts.
And it looks like... Oh...
Not yet, anyway. Yeah, not yet, anyway.
But while you're up here, I'm sure... Yeah, after a quick dip into Hera, try to get 2 items, or find out what those 2 items are. And fortunately, the 2 items are pretty quick to find.
Yeah, I mean, you would always have to go into Hera just to look, because your Spike Cave you go into, you save and quit out of, so it's always going to be the last thing you do up here.
That's true. And showing off the super speed strats to do that Hera pot. Saves on bombs, saves on health.
I like how there are different ways to do Hera pot, and you usually see more than one way in every seed, just depending on when someone ends up in Hera.
And Darkwing does, after taking down the Armless Knights, does go to Pyramid. That is a very good call to grab those boots and get and to be able to go fast for the rest of the seed. And being, I think, the only runner we've seen to get a potion from the Pyramid Fairy for some green goo.
And here we go. Harshop getting his mitts.
Yep, very well done. And at 55 minutes and 25 seconds, our Shap is in go mode. Very well done. Laggy is in Ice Palace. Without that, Canis Samaria does have to go through the basement, which can be perilous. And it looks like we'll be doing an Ice Palace bomb jump.
And it also looks like Dazed Cloud is about to hit his go mode as well.
And there is go mode. 56 minutes and 6 seconds in.
He may still need the lamp, but I mean, that's always a little optional, and it's also highly visible, so that might be an easy enough thing to go get.
That's a good point. And especially since you probably don't need it quite yet. And it will cost a trip to go into the Dark World first from Link's house, and then over to the island. All right, and Darkwing is now the Blue Ranger, picking up, looks like some blue mail. Oh, and that is a good point. Arshap and Dazed Cloud might not know the requirements for Turtle Rock, so we know that they're in go mode. They're in pretty good. They are in pretty good shape. Otherwise,
It is, unless Dazed Cloud is hoping that the lamp is in here, it does look like he's going to do Meyer with just the fire rod.
and we'll see what's on Catfish for Darkwing. And it's just a little bit of money. I mean, it's a good amount of money. It's just not what we were looking for.
And Darkwing Duck getting a fairy in a bottle from the waterfall fairy there.
Which is a nice bit of safety. The bug net is... We found the bug net overall. But we'll see. We'll see what's on Zora. And what Zora will part with for the low price of 500 rupees. Act now, supplies are limited.
And our shop dropping down to Cold Stare.
And for just 500 rupees, you can have a collector's 300 rupee number.
That's a good deal.
Oh yeah, it's a collector's edition, of course.
It changes you into the blue Power Ranger too, apparently.
All right, and Arshap taking down Cold Stare. Very well done. And that is crystal number 5 so far. Meanwhile, Dazed about to go into the Vitreous fight to get that 5th crystal as well.
And Laggy right behind our shop at Cold Stare.
Oh, and the strat of using the cape and just running through there just to get as many hits on the little eyeballs as possible. And the butter sword was on the hammer pegs. All right, Arshap getting the good news that that my requirement is not Quake. And Jay's taking down Vitreous and getting that 5th crystal. Laggy taking down Cold Stare and getting their 4th. Very well done. Yep, don't blink. Cold Stare will be gone. Don't blink. Vitreous will be gone.
And we see Darkwing, finding his cane there. He is still the one without the Titan's Mint, kind of wondering when he's going to make his way back up Death Mountain, but it looks like that may be, Spike Heap may be one of the last checks he does.
And I suppose with Vitreous, and Daze does pick up that lamp. And I suppose with Vidi Don't Blink, you'll miss it. Definitely with the silvers, those little eyeballs will go down with just 1 silver arrow. And maybe with using the sword dash strat, maybe it's don't rub your eyes as a good lesson to Vitreous. And the Cane of Brian for Darkwing.
And Laggy just found their mirror. A lot of pretty distant go mode item locations on this seed here. Spike Cave, Graveyard Ledge, Pendant Dungeon, which you always kind of expect something, but just a lot of things adding up on this one.
That's a good point. All right, and let's see. Laggy at this point is, I guess, checking out Bumper Ledge to see what's on there, and it's just 10 arrows. Wisely using the cape there. Still being on green mail, those pterodactyls will pack quite a punch. So just trying to avoid those. That's a good call.
He realized he didn't have to use it on the bumper ledge, so he said, "Why not?"
Here we go, and Darkwing is about to pick up those Titan's Mitts as well, and about to join Arshap and Daze Cloud in go mode. All right, and Arshap about to get the good news that Turtle Rock is accessible. And even if it was, it's still a 2 in 3, even with incomplete knowledge, it's a 2 in 3 chance that he'll be able to open it. So this is a good call overall. And in addition, I think this would be also the first foray for our runners into Dark Death Mountain. I don't recall if Arshap did Hookshot Cave or any of the other checks or Super Bunny Cave. So
yeah, I don't believe anybody had the mitts at the time to do them, and I think when Laggy got them, he didn't have the hook shot, maybe something else.
And I think Arshap did save and quit as well. So I think we got that.
But seeing the Turtle Rock is the medallion you have, and now you're in go mode pretty much. Do you even go?
That's a good point. At this point, cool. Hookshot Cave is available. The only thing that you would there's not really much more to find aside from maybe a mail upgrade or silvers or the butter sword, which we know to be in hammer pegs. So
It looks like Days Cloud is making his way back up to Turtle Rock as well. What started as a very divergent seed has come back together pretty well. Everybody's pretty close together. And this really it led you 4 different ways at the start of this thing.
it really did. I mean, 2 in Misery Mire, we're about to be 2 in Misery Mire, about to be 2 in Turtle Rock. Now, Dazed does still have to do Cold Stare, so we'll have to climb back down the mountain. So that will be a little bit interesting. We'll have to reclimb the mountain again.
Oh yeah, I didn't
never
see
mind.
that he had skipped Ice Palace.
Actually, it looks like our tracker confirming that the tracking software just ate the input, and Daze has indeed done Cold Stare.
That feels better.
That does feel a lot nicer. Laggy will be close to last locationing. Unfortunately, that fire rod. Dazed, opting not to use the hook shot, but does go the long way around, but does go the right way for that. So very well done. There are basically two directions that you can go on that in that room. One way is you can go up, around, light all 4 torches quickly, hook shot on one of the torches, fall to respawn back at the door. The other way is to go the long way around and basically shoot the fire rod shot at the very end, which is definitely safer, and it doesn't require the hook shot, just the fire rod.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even with Green Mail and Turtle Rock, maybe he just wants every heart he can get.
And that's definitely a good point, and definitely a fair point. Oh, and especially in this Chain Chomp room. And a good point, Laggy is in Dark Room in the Mire, which is not that's definitely one of the more challenging dark rooms.
Oh yeah, not something I would ever want to do. And I believe Darkwing just did the same thing, the same series of dark rooms there without the lamp.
All right, and our shop getting to. We'll actually not have to do Laser Bridge. Looks like there was I'm not sure if it was stealing a key from the middle of Turtle Rock, or if there just happened to be a couple keys on the way, but they got all 4 small keys. Okay, so yeah, no need to do Laser Bridge in that case. And we got a question about Laggy not getting the boots. That is correct. The 5/6 crystal is Swamp Palace, so still needs to be able to do Swamp Palace for those boots. But Arshap doing a nice job through Trinex so far.
Yeah, this seed seemed really good about saying, okay, here's everything you need to do, 5 different dungeons, go take your pick, and it's totally up to you on which dungeon you pick and how lucky you are for picking that dungeon first.
Yep. And Laggy is now going down to Swamp Palace. Arshap does get the Trinex, and that's 7th crystal. So we're going to be doing a game. Put in a number between 1 and 22. This is the Ganon Tower Big Key guessing game. Shindig, where do you think we'll be finding that key?
I usually default to 9, but someone in chat has already said 9, so I'm going to default to 8. I'm going to Price is Right him and guess 1 under.
All right, and I'm going to go with 16. All right, and Dazed is also working on Trinex. All right, and going over to Hope Room. Hope Room is a nice quick 2 items. But 1 and 2 are just 20 rupees each. No key, so we continue to the left.
And a good clean Trinex from Days Cloud there.
And 3 is just a piece of heart. That might have been a double spin on Trinex. That was pretty well done. 4 is piece of heart, and 5 is the answer. 5 being just in the in that red Stalfos room. Very well done. We have, let's see, who is closest? Scottio with 6, XYZZY with 4, and Icarus with 4. Y'all were the closest. Very well done. All right, and Arshap starting to get through, starting to get to the gauntlet in Ganon's Tower. And Days Cloud about to enter Ganon's Tower as well. They'll be able to make up, and they are going to make up a little bit of time on Arshap as well by going to the left first. And that's a good point. With the items that we have, this is about the hard item pool limit. We know where the golden sword is, and where a couple more hearts are, but it's definitely been a quick seed.
Yeah, 1 runner with blue mail, 1 runner with the golden sword. Everything else hard pool is pretty interesting for a default seed.
All right, and Darkwing is about to enter Turtle Rock. And Laggy did get that fire rod, by the way, and is and actually we know that we don't need the boots, so that is go mode. And Arshap getting through the gauntlet. All right. Days Cloud is just about 1 gauntlet behind, though. And that's a good point. Laggy, as far as he knows, is in Schrodinger's go mode, because that Ganon's Tower Big Key could be on the torch. We know it's not, but
I mean, for a 1 in 22 shot, I think you got to try.
that's a good point. And who's to say that the boots aren't in Ganon's Tower as well?
Yeah, or Turtle Rock.
And it stays. Goes through the gauntlet. Our sap is on to getting close to the top of Ganon's Tower. And that's a good point. You kind of hope that they are in Ganon's Tower early on in Ganon's Tower versus Turtle Rock, especially since we know we will be able to skip Laser Bridge.
And it is looking like, unless silvers are in the right side of tower and somebody decides to go right, this is going to be 4 silverless cannons.
Looks like our chap is looking for a little bit of additional safety. Checking the pre-Moldorm 2 chest. Just finding 1 single rupee though. And when you already had 1,017 before that one. And unfortunately, with just a compass, this is going to feel like a hard item pull for our Shap. Fortunately, it does have that tempered sword, though.
Yeah, that's a huge step up for Master against Ganon for sure.
It's definitely also interesting with that lava. I hadn't seen the lava chest on the first time. That being the big key. If silvers could be on Laser Bridge, that would be a heck of a location. And down goes Aga 2. Very well done. All right, and down drops Arshap into the Ganon fight. As we get the classic Spaceballs reference there from Ganon. Yeah, there is a huge, though, difference between the Tempered Sword and having to do this with the Master Sword.
Do you have a favorite Ganon line from this?
Let's see. I do like the Labyrinth reference now that came out in a recent update. The one where sings Magic Dance.
Okay.
But Arshap being on phase 3 already. And Darkwing is checking those last couple, those laser bridge checks. Looks like we'll just be getting a piece of heart there. Or, sorry, a full heart container right there. And arrows in Ganon's tower. Ooh.
So right side tower, maybe. That may be interesting, depending on where they are. If Flaggy or Darkwing decide to go right side, they may end up with silvers for Ganon.
And Days Cloud, by the way, is also doing the Ganon fight, phase 2 right now. So this is still very close. Oh no, and Laggy had not checked the lava chest and does have to go back to get those, get that big key.
That's a speed gamble you'll see a lot, and I don't remember the chances, but it's pretty low that there's something relevant in that chest. So when you miss it, it's got to feel pretty bad.
All right, and both Arshap and Days Cloud on phase 4. This is close. Meanwhile, Darkwing taking down Trinex. Very well done. And down goes Ganon. Arshap defeating Ganon. Please get your GGs in chat. And Days Cloud is going to be right behind as well. And Arshap crosses the most dangerous bridge in the game and finishes first in our restream, GG, with an official time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 28 seconds. And that is good for second place overall. And Days Cloud also finishing GG. And we are joined in the booth by Arshap. Welcome in. How do you think that seed went?
Hi. GG. Yeah, I guess every once in a while someone lucks into routing something correctly on accident. So that was nice.
Well, and especially with some of those item locations.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I feel like I just sort of followed the logic for the most part. That mirror, I don't know. I feel like I usually leave Graveyard Ledge behind, so I just head over there, grab Candace and Mario. I think the one thing was Spike Cave, and really the only reason I did that so quickly is because I forgot to check Spec Rock my first time up the mountain. So I wanted to head up there and check that soon. Otherwise, I probably would have put that off a bit longer.
It worked out for you pretty well.
Yeah.
And we're also joined by Days Cloud, GG, and Days Cloud finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, 58 seconds. Second place on our restream, and third place overall, GG. How do you think that seed went?
I mean, it went well. I guess I'm a little annoyed now that I see that I lost my 30 seconds on the restream. That I took a little time there in Ice Palace to check a few things, but I mean, 30 seconds, no big deal. GG's there, bud.
Yeah, GG. Yeah, I did the same thing since I hadn't checked T-Rock at that point. I figured they're relatively quick checks. Why not? Just in case.
Yeah, hard to know if Quake was actually going to be there. I was kind of like going up to T-Rock and kind of going, do I do this early?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But Meyer, I don't know, when we got that big key in Meyer, there was no way I was wasting time in there.
Oh yeah, totally. It was just basically grab the big key and then it was just like, all right, I guess I'm going.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think both of you, if I remember correctly, both of you did enter Meyer in Go mode, or as much as Go mode as you knew, just without knowing necessarily what Turtle Rock.
Yeah, a hopeful Go mode, yeah, for sure.
Right. And then it was also probably pretty nice with Swamp Palace getting that fire rod and then the boots immediately right afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like when you see that green dot on your tracker, it's so exciting. How often do you get to check Pyramid, Fairy, you know? Got a beeline right to it. But it actually routed pretty nicely since I knew I wanted to grab that lamp. So I figured I would just grab the bomb and grab the lamp right after that.
Yeah, I figured there was a pretty good chance that we were going to be doing Silverless, so I kind of routed in the lamp on my way to Ice Palace. I was just like, I don't need this, but I don't really feel like hitting Torch Glitch without it today. Because it's right there.
Well, and especially since, for this didn't have to be a hard standard seed. It just turned out to almost be like that for the items.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you hit a jet like this, you just kind of, you go, okay, I can either make this much harder on myself or I can just, go with it. And this time it was just basically, yeah, just go with it. Everything's fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't qualify for the tournament, and I was feeling like, oh man, I spent all this time for nothing. But I guess the practice that I got from those races prepared me for this seed, so it's all worth it in the end.
Oh, absolutely. And the butter sword was on hammer pegs, by the way.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I was
and
never
appa-
going there.
and apparently there was blue mail in, I think, in front of Escape.
Got it.
Yeah, never going there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started walking to hammer pegs and realized I didn't have the glove when I had already made that screen transition. So cool stuff to do on stream, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm a little unhappy with how the early route went because I was like, I'm just going to avoid CAC, and I was like, this is going to work as long as there's no flute in there. And of course, the moment I get to the well, I'm like, ah, come on, game.
That was quite a loaded early game, definitely.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I did everything that I could before I went to CAC, and then when I went to CAC, it was basically, well, I guess I'm going up the mountain because I got nothing left.
Yeah, was the hook shot at Agina? I remember getting it really early.
Yeah, it was there in Agina.
Yeah.
Yeah, Agina had hook shot. Ice Rod Kate had Ice Rod because
Right.
that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, that was kind of it. I was kind of scared the whole seed that Catfish and Zora was going to have something because I isolated the living daylights out of that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, especially Catfish. Yeah, I think my go mode effectively was mitts. So when I was down to that point, and yeah, I was running out of good options at that point. Then Catfish and Zora really started to freak me out a bit.
I had secondhand anxiety watching you guys wondering when Spike Cave was going to come back up and when you guys were going to be able to get there because of the mitts being there.
How early did the other guys get it?
Only one person got in Spike Cave relatively early. 3 out of 4 who we were watching here didn't go in.
Yeah, because I didn't even do Spec Rock when I went up there the first time because I was just gonna be like, I'll just come back if I have to come back, I'll come back and I'll do Spike Cave in with it. Although, kind of thinking about it again, I could have just gone. If I was, well, I don't know if smart was the right word there, but if I had been thinking, I could have routed in Spike Cave the first time I was up there. But,
Yeah, it felt like just one of those. Do I do Spike Cave or do I do Spiral Cave calls that you have to make now and then? And like I usually go with Spiral, but I did the same thing. I didn't check Spec Rock at the beginning. I don't know why. I feel like I usually walk up the left side to check it, but I don't know. Without boots, it feels bad.
Slow. Yeah, it feels real bad if you don't have boots. That's why I was glad when I came back with boots. It was just like, yeah, this is much easier.
Definitely fair.
All right, as Darkwing drops down into the Ganon fight at 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 11 seconds. Yeah, and we guess those silvers. It looks like what we're going to be in the basement. I think both of y'all checked, or at least it was a quick GT big key at least as well.
Yeah, it was 5. I think we weren't able to go right. I know.
I know I didn't go to Hope Room, so I was gonna do left right. I was gonna go left right left if it let me, but then it gave me the big key, and I was just like, and I'm done.
Well, I'm sure you'll be sad to know you missed 2 red rupees.
Oh man, that sucks.
Got to Ganon $40 poorer.
Yep.
I don't know how much money do I got. Oh wow, you've got so much more cash than me.
I think there's one 300 rupee drop that I saw it just sitting in the overworld or whatever, and I was like, do I need that? Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm on green mail, potion money, whatever. Clearly not.
And fortunately, Zora offering that commemorative 300 rupee for just 500 rupees. I mean, Could have been worse. Could have been better. Could have been worse.
Yeah, it's funny how often you see bad Zord deals at the 300 rupee drop. Actually seems fine.
Oh no! And Darkwing falls to Ganon. Gets knocked off by that fire bat, and that fire bat is tough. Just reversing the directions, and Darkwing and Laggy will be neck and neck to enter this Ganon fight.
Laggy having the butter sword, and he has the Darkwing has the blue mail, so they both kind of have their own piece there.
I definitely do not miss sword spins against Ganon, though. Fortunately, getting Tempered Sword in Hype Cave, I believe everyone did get the swords in the same order.
I think it was kind of hard not to get them. You know, like the first two were just basically right out in the open, and then that other one being in Hype Cave, it was just like, well, I'm on Tempered, so I'm good for the rest of the day here.
That's a good point. All right, and Laggy working on Phase 4 of Ganon, and Darkwing on Phase 3. Does have to be a little bit careful, even with that blue mail, only down to 2.5 hearts. And both of our runners on Phase 4. And down goes Ganon for Laggy. Very well done. And get your GGs in chat. As Laggy has finished 3rd place on our restream, 8th overall, with a time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 21 seconds. Oh no. And Darkwing taking another fall to Ganon. Oh no.
All right, well, with that, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and take off, let Laggy and everyone have their time here. Thanks for the restream. Thanks for getting everything together there. I'll catch you guys next time, okay?
All right. Thank you very much, Jace Cloud, and have a great evening yourself, and GG.
GG's.
Yep, good game. Thanks for the race, man.
Yeah, same. GG to Cloud, and seconding all the kind words about comms and tracking. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And GG to you as well. And Darkwing, back into the Ganon fight. Fortunately, with Tempered Sword, Phase 1 and 2 should be pretty quick. And Ganon in a good position to get those sword spins as well. So this will be already out of Phase 2. But does have to be careful. Down to half a heart.
I believe he has a fairy in a bottle, but still got to be pretty careful.
That is a fair point.
Falls on Ganon happen to everybody. They're never fun.
Yeah. Ganon is already a tough enemy, and whether by falling or running out of magic or just taking a Ganon hug. Ganon is a very tough end of the game.
Especially when you don't even have the weapon the game intended you to have to kill him. That makes it even harder.
But get your GGs in chat because Darkwing does take down Ganon. Very well done. And about to cross that finish line. And finishes fourth on our restream with an official time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 16 seconds. Get your GGs in chat.
And that fourth on the restream is 10th overall. Good games to all four runners. That was good.
That was well run, and that was a very interesting seed overall as well. Just with everything, kind of scattered throughout in all the different corners of the of Hyrule, and yeah, doing that entire phase 4 on just half a heart. That is stressful in and of itself.
Yeah, that's got to be very stressful. It intimidates Ganon, though, so it does help the fight a little bit. He sees you're fighting at half a heart, and he gets scared because he sees you're crazy.
All right.
Spike, Graveyard Ledge, man, what? The Spike Cave, I think, was the biggest thing in the seed, where it surely got a lot of runners where they just very close to last location to that.
Right. And then at least the Fire Rod, although at least the Fire Rod was accessible in Swamp. It wasn't on the left side. It was in... It was at least in one of those checks. You're not in go mode yet, so you're still going to be checking a couple chests. So at least the Fire Rod was relatively accessible, even though it did lock off Turtle Rock, or most of the checks in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, despite there being some mean generation where it spawned some stuff, the great majority of stuff was kind of right in line where the runner would want it to be. So I would say it wasn't a bad seed overall.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We're going to see if Darkwing or Laggy would be interested in joining us to talk about the seed. But yeah, in the meantime, that was... Although for as nicely as the items were located, it was still pretty interesting that there wasn't a whole lot of extra safety beyond what would be normally in hard standard mode.
Yeah, where was the third male? In some pendant dungeon buried somewhere, I guess.
Right, and I think the mirror shield... Darkwing did also pick up the mirror shield. I think that was... Where was that? That was in Meyer, I believe. And the male was... Oh, Mirror Shield and Laser Bridge. Ah, thank you. And the blue male was in Escape.
Never did find out what was in Zelda's chest either. Still, the mystery will haunt me.
That was the one where Zelda's Tail was the blue male.
Oh, okay. The mystery will no longer haunt me.
No hauntings there. But yeah, overall, that was a relatively quick haunted, knowing that it was the blue male. That's certainly fair enough. But yeah. Any final thoughts on that seed?
What a seed. Yeah, not really. It was fun to watch. I'm glad Quake wasn't needed for Go mode, I guess.
That's a good point. We never did find Quake anywhere, so there we go. All right. And aside from that, I think that will do it for our broadcast. So I do want to give a huge shout out to our runners, Arshap, DJ Darkwing D, Days Cloud, and Laggy. I also want to give a huge shout out to our trackers, Artaro and Professor Pixie, who did a fantastic job keeping us honest in what items were available. And I want to thank you as well, Shindig Pig, for co-commenting.
And back at you. Thank you.
All right, and with that, we do have we'll have some more daily races over this coming week. Our next race will be tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern, doing a casual seed. So we're gonna start out with the sword and doing escape. And that is 11 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, April 13th. Aside from that, I think that is it. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a great rest of your day or evening, and take it easy.